The courtyard was shrouded in shadows, the stones beneath the feet of the onlookers cold and unyielding. Night pressed in from every side, heavy with anticipation, as if the very air itself were holding its breath. Within the ancient walls a gathering had assembled, not to seek justice but to orchestrate condemnation. Here, under flickering torchlight, Jesus stood before Caiaphas, the high priest, surrounded by the Sanhedrin, a council of the most powerful and learned men in Jerusalem. Their faces were etched with suspicion, their eyes sharp with the intent to destroy. They were not searching for truth. They were searching for a reason, any reason, to silence this man who had stirred the hearts of thousands. The proceedings began with a parade of witnesses, each one eager to please, each one twisting words and distorting events. Accusations were hurled like stones, crafted to ensnare and to entrap. Some spoke of temple destruction, others of blasphemy, but their testimonies contradicted one another, unraveling even as they were spoken. Lies and half-truths filled the room, swirling around Jesus like a storm. Yet, through it all, he stood silent. Not a word of protest escaped his lips, no attempt to defend himself, no effort to refute the slander. His silence was not that of defeat or resignation, it was the silence of unshakable confidence, the quiet strength of one who knows that truth does not need to shout to be heard. The frustration in the room grew palpable. The high priest, Caiaphas, leaned forward, his voice rising above the murmurs. "Are you the Christ, the Son of the Blessed?" The question hung in the air, weighted with centuries of prophecy and longing. The room stilled, all eyes fixed on Jesus, and then, in the hush, he spoke. "I am." Two simple words, yet they rang with the authority of eternity. In that moment, history pivoted. The heavens themselves bore witness. The boundaries between earth and the divine seemed to blur, as if the universe recognized the truth that had just been spoken. The response was immediate and violent. Caiaphas tore his robe in a dramatic gesture of outrage, his voice trembling with fury as he shouted, "Blasphemy!" The council erupted, their anger spilling over into chaos. But what they called blasphemy was, in fact, revelation. Jesus had not claimed a title for himself lightly. He had declared his identity with clarity and courage. The truth, spoken plainly, cut through the pretense and the plotting. It exposed the hearts of those who listened, laying bare their motives and fears. The rage of the council knew no bounds. They surged forward, striking Jesus, mocking him, spitting upon him. Their cruelty was unrestrained, their contempt absolute. Yet, through every blow, every insult, Jesus remained silent. He did not retaliate. He did not curse or condemn. He bore their hatred with a dignity that defied comprehension. In his silence, there was a power greater than any argument, a resolve deeper than any defense. He was the lamb led to slaughter, not in weakness, but in unstoppable purpose. His restraint was not an absence of strength, but the very definition of it. In this sacred silence we glimpse the heart of divine strength, a Savior who did not need to win a debate, for he was the embodiment of truth itself. He stood firm, unmoved by the shifting tides of public opinion or the threats of powerful men. His mission was not to preserve his own life, but to offer it willingly for the sake of a world in desperate need of redemption. His silence was a statement louder than any words, that love endures, that truth remains, and that victory is often hidden in the places we least expect. As we reflect on this moment, we are invited to see beyond the injustice of the trial to the deeper triumph that was unfolding. The power was not in the hands of those who shouted the loudest or struck the hardest. The true power was in the quiet courage of Jesus, in his unwavering commitment to speak only what mattered most. He did not seek to justify himself before men, because he was justified before God. He did not need to prove his worth because his worth was inherent, eternal, unassailable. This story challenges us to reconsider our own understanding of strength and victory. In a world that often equates power with volume and success with domination, Jesus offers a different path. He shows us that there is a profound strength in restraint, a deep courage in stillness. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is to remain silent in the face of accusation, to hold fast to the truth even when it is misunderstood or rejected. Sometimes the greatest victory comes not from winning the argument, but from standing firm in our convictions, trusting that truth will ultimately prevail. The trial before Caiaphas was, on the surface, a spectacle of injustice. But beneath the surface, it was a revelation of glory. The silence of Jesus was not emptiness, but fullness, the fullness of love, purpose, and sacrifice. In that silence, the seeds of redemption were sown, seeds that would bear fruit in the resurrection and in the lives of all who would come to believe. As we remember this moment, let it inspire us to seek the strength that comes from knowing who we are and whose we are. Let it remind us that, like Jesus, we are called not to win every argument, but to live in a way that bears witness to the truth. May we find the courage to speak when it matters most, and the wisdom to be silent when words are not enough. This is the triumph hidden in restraint, the power in stillness, the glory that shines through even the darkest of nights.
Thank you for watching this video. If you found the content meaningful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Faith and Glory channel so you won't miss out on more inspiring videos about faith and life values. See you in the next video!